To code or not to Claude Code? That is the question. Hello, folks. Are you wondering, should you be using Claude Code or Claude Cowork? What's better for you? All right, let's have a discussion. So, if you don't know, now you know. So, Anthropic's got a lot going on. They're shipping a lot lately. So, Claude Code, you install it in a terminal, but you can also, authorize it and connect it so you got it on your mobile phone. And what's Claude Code good for? Well, it's supposed to be good for hardcore developers, people that know how to code. You could use it too if you're just trying to learn how to code. You talk to it more like a chat, like an interface, but it is connected to the terminal, so can do things depending on where it lives, or if it's sandboxed or not. That might, you might have to think about that setup. But for the most part, that's that. Now, Claude Cowork, it's similar, but it's different. It mostly, instead of working in a terminal per se, it's like the same thing, but think of it more like, it does stuff on your computer. It'll read your files. It can make, presentations for you, yada, yada, yada. But there is also connection to your phone. There's also, but that requires your computer, if you're running it, locally, or if you're running it maybe on a VPS, it's got to be on all the time. Otherwise, bye-bye, sayonara. That means you got to basically, start all over and say hello, hello, hello. Now, there's a lot more to get into. You can use them interchangeably. Claude has like a desktop thing, so it's got, all three up there: chat, Cowork, code. And they can all plug into your same subscription. If you're doing a subscription, maybe, like a $20 Pro or $100 or $200 Max. But that's what I want to talk about next. Now, I don't know when you're going to see this, how long this has been going on, but it's something to be aware of. So currently, a lot of folks, and I've seen this too, are saying that they're hitting their limits on their subscription, very quickly. Maybe even what you used to be doing, for hours, maybe just a few weeks ago. People are saying, just in a few minutes, they're doing just a few things and boom, limit. And then, it'll reset in 5 hours. Then you come back in 5 hours and a couple more minutes, I got to reset again. And people are getting frustrated, right? And remarkably, is that the word, remarkably? So, we also had this quote-unquote leak of the the .map thing. So people went out and forked it and cloned it. It got I think 100,000 stars on GitHub. I mean, it seems like everything is the fastest growing this, fast growing that. You turn your head for 3 days or a week, and it's oh, there's another one. So people are getting frustrated. People are saying they're going to switch. Some people are saying they're going to go get this, and run it locally or run something similar. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. What do you think I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying how it is, and this is what people say it is. So, maybe they'll get it straightened out, maybe not. For most people, there are some things that you can do, but again, it kind of requires some setup, right? It kind of requires, babysitting, do this, do that, compact this, So it's not like it's plug and play, perhaps, but it can still be quite powerful. Even simple things like compact or just, moving away from the top model like Opus and maybe down to a Sonnet or something for most of the heavy lifting might help you out. But it is pretty interesting that even just simple chats, so hopefully they'll figure that out. You would think that while this stuff is probably, the compute's getting subsidized, you would just hope that people would have a good experience with it, get to learn the tools, and if you want more, you upgrade. But if you're not having a good experience with it, then, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Maybe you're going to sit on the sidelines. Maybe you're going to go someplace else. Maybe you're going to wait. Maybe you're going to pull your dollars away. And you're going to wait. And you're going to say, hey, listen, we'd come back, but, So anyways, what are you doing? Are you doing the Claude Code, or are you doing the Claude Cowork? It is all fairly recent, right? So I anticipate this stuff to just keep rolling out, keep shipping, keep getting better and better. And there's a lot of, alternatives. There's open source alternatives. So there seems, but there still is a learning curve, for a lot of this stuff. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. This human beings, our time to learn. I don't know how much time we're going to have left to be learning. Or at least we're going to learn stuff, but will we ever be able to put that learning into use? Because this is the year, folks. This is the year that these models will most likely be way better, surpassing what humans have ever done in the history of humankind. And, we're already starting to see this. Even engineers, software engineers, etc., that were using some of these things, to supplement, to augment, are now starting to realize, hey, I gotta simplify it. I gotta dumb down. I gotta, these computers don't want to be bogged down with everything in the way that we think to do them, because they kind of already know, they so maybe less is best. And this is a hard skill to learn for some, and maybe it's beneficial for others if maybe you didn't come from that background. I don't know. But anyways, that's all I got. To be or not to be, that could be a question. Peace.